Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon to our atrium here in City Hall. We are here today to get the word out about a very exciting partnership which is in the works. This is a joint partnership between PennDOT, the Redevelopment Authority, and the City of Harrisburg. And together, we are planning the week of September 19th, Visioning Week, at the Harrisburg Transportation Center. This is officially a kickoff for a transit-oriented development study that will study what are the possibilities of our transportation center right here in the city of Harrisburg. Now, as many of you know, the city has recently revised its zoning code, and it has included the business district going up Market Street to Cameron Street, past the train and bus transportation center. We have also recently passed a 10-year tax abatement to help stimulate development within the city of Harrisburg. And we are currently at work on a comprehensive plan for development for the city of Harrisburg, which will be made public before the end of the year. And we are building on all three of those things to help develop this, the future for this particular corridor of Harrisburg. We believe that everything is in place now to have the type of development that we want to see. And what is that? We want to see compact, walkable, mixed-use development. And to determine exactly what that is it apartments? Is it retail? It's certainly jobs. And it's certainly jobs that take advantage of the proximity to bus and rail. But to determine exactly what that is and how it fits into the city's overall plans, we are asking people to come together and give their input in this very important process, which we're calling Visioning Week. So the week of September 19th is literally jam-packed with opportunities for people to come together and talk out loud about what they want to see for the future of transit-oriented development in the city of Harrisburg. It's all kicking off at 8 o'clock on Monday, September 18th. Actually, it's kicking off at 6 o'clock, where we're going to have an introduction workshop. And then days 2 and 3, which are Tuesday and Wednesday, there's a lot going on. There are going to be talks at the Capitol. There are going to be project aerial walks. There are going to be a variety of discussion groups and a variety of design workshops. And then it will culminate on day 4, which is Thursday, September 22nd, when we're going to have a community open house, and you're going to get to see some of these draft design concepts, and that'll be at 5 o'clock on Thursday, September 22nd. But none of this is possible without public input and participation, and there is time right now to plan your part in this. There is a flyer which residents, if they're interested, can come down to City Hall, can pick up. They can also go to the city's website, harrisburgpa.gov, and you can print out the full schedule of Visioning Week. And you can also print out a map of the area. In general, if you have any questions, call 311 and we will get people started. Now, as I said, this is a partnership between the city and the Redevelopment Authority. It builds on things that we're doing in the city, but it wouldn't be possible without the support and the partnership of PennDOT and the commitment of Governor Wolf and this administration to put a sizable investment in the future of our transportation center. And to talk a little bit about that and why it's important, we are very happy to be joined by Deputy Secretary Toby Farber. Toby, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, sir. So I'd just say that in 2006, we completed a major investment in the Keystone Corridor line, the train line that operates between Harrisburg, Philadelphia, and goes on to New York City. Since that 2006 investment shortened the trip time to about 1 hour and 35 minutes between Harrisburg and Philadelphia. That trip time benefit has caused us to see ridership growth. Ridership's grown from 800,000 riders a year to over 1.4 million riders a year today, and we believe that we can get more growth on this line. But not only that, it's time to take advantage of the line. It acts like an interstate highway, except it's a train. It connects Harrisburg, Lancaster, other communities along the Keystone Corridor to major metropolitan areas such as Philadelphia and New York City. It opens up a lot of business and commerce opportunities, and it's time for the cities along this line to start taking advantage of that. The purpose of Visioning Week is to come up with a vision and plan for redevelopment around the train station, reinvestment in the train station, doing state of good repair investments in the train station, improving pedestrian access to the train station. You can see there's a walkability project going on now to connect the train station to the Capitol to improve pedestrian safety. We want to lay out this vision so we can work on a longer-term investment at the station and also begin to sell and market the city of Harrisburg and that particular area to developers, because it's going to be a focus of major infrastructure investment over the next 5 to 8 years. We're really excited. PennDOT's excited to be part of this. We're thrilled to be able to help to work on developing this vision. We want to get the community. We want to get business leaders. We need to get developers, consultants, planners, engineers, architects, anybody that's interested to come out and participate in this week. You can come out and say what you like, what you don't like, what you think should happen. And then the architects and the engineers and the planners are going to take that information and try to turn it into a vision, a plan at the end of the week, of what people can lay out of what possibly could be achieved in that area. And then that'll form a basis for marketing to the private sector to get development in. So we're really excited about it, and we look forward to getting everybody involved.
Thank you, Toby. And just to recap, we're looking at millions of dollars in public and private investment in this area of the city of Harrisburg coming soon. And this study is really the first step. It's bringing everyone together, and the sky is the limit. I can say, as part of the comprehensive planning process, we know how important the development of this area of the city is to the residents at large. I've also had the chance to see some proposals already from the public, and it's incredible. It's incredible what people can dream and think about for that area. We're looking at a large swath of land there between the train tracks and Cameron Street, right around Market Street, which really is underdeveloped. It's not living up to its full potential. And if we can build it, they will come, and we'll grow the city's tax base, and we will encourage economic development that will benefit really the entire Commonwealth. So that's what this is about. Again, visit our website. The state also has a website. It's called planthekeystone.com, and you can go there and you can print out a copy of the flyer. You can stop by here and join us. Pick a time that interests you. Come and join us at the Transportation Center on September 19th through September 22nd. And we'll take a few questions from the media if you have some.
Can you just talk about maybe some of the proposals that you've already gotten? I don't know. What would you love to see in that area close to the city?
Yeah, let me let Jackie Parker answer that, because she's our economic development director here in the city, and we have seen quite a few, and I've seen a few. What are some of the things that are being proposed? Maybe it'll get the creative wheels flowing in the public.
Well, absolutely more amenities in that area. So we're looking for retail, commercial, coffee shops, you know, things that are in urban core areas, mom and pop cafes. Along with a grocery store, that certainly has been mentioned. You know, we would like access to food. And what we also are hearing is that they would like to see that downtown corridor connected with Allison Hill as you go up Market Street. And that connection is what we hope to also focus on, is how do we get people down from the neighborhoods into the downtown and using the, that complex better, to make that to better use.
So the hope is that this will increase riders.
Well, I think absolutely. I mean, that is something that of course, you know, we're interested in with Amtrak being there. But when you do a trans-oriented development study, it's also how is the land also better used. So if you look at that area, how can the city better take advantage of the fact that you have an intermodal station right there? It's for buses, it's for train, and how can the residents, the commuters use that better? So if you're a commuter coming in, you know, should there be more amenities there? Should there be maybe some housing? Could there be a conference center there, because there would be, you know, access now to transportation to different areas? So then those are things that we're hearing from the public.
And this is a state-funded project?
Yes.
Right. Okay, gotcha. And then what's the number on this?
The study?
Will the study, but not just the study, but actually redevelopment?
So the study is costing us about $575,000. And at the end of the study, we're going to end up with design concepts for the area, along with what the investments that need to be in the station building itself. We have committed to about $15 million in the actual station building for state of good repair investments, because it's getting pretty tired inside the building and needs some upgrades. Beyond that, it really depends on what the plan that comes out of this effort and what the infrastructure investment needs are comes out of this effort as to how much we'll need to spend.
Is there a timeline on this?
For the study?
For completing the study and hopefully see some movement for redevelopment of that area?
So at the end of visioning week, we're going to end up with design concepts. It's a very concentrated effort during that week, and then after that, we'll be working over the next couple months after that, late into the winter, to wrap up that and lead into what we can move forward with and a schedule to move forward with next phases.
And I think part of it is preparing the concepts for private investment to come in and really showing what's possible. You asked what's possible. Well, you know, instead of a lot of surface parking, imagine tall vertical buildings with apartments above and retail below. That's the sort of classic mixed-use component. Imagine connections, perhaps a walkway over the train tracks, or connecting over Cameron Street up into Allison Hill. There are a lot of and other options around the creek and with some of the larger buildings that are currently unoccupied. So we can put all that together in, I think, some very attractive concepts and packages for developers to come in and again take advantage of the tax abatement, take advantage of the new zoning, and all that plus PennDOT's investment and the investment in the train station itself is going to make that area, I think, the next hot corridor for the city. Any other questions? Yes.
What are you going to do with the underpass? That's going to source.
We can. You may take credit for this. No, it's good. It's very positive.
It's not really taking credit, but so as part of the pedestrian improvements that are going on around the Capitol, as soon as the majority of that work is complete, the contractor is going to focus on the underpass, and that's going to happen this fall. So there will be improvements made to the underpass. The lighting is going to be restored under there. It's going to be brightened up. It's going to be cleaned up. The sidewalk's going to be repaired. ADA ramps put in. And that connection under the Market Street underpass is going to be greatly improved.
What's going to happen structurally?
Structurally?
Yeah.
The structure of the bridge is okay. There's concrete surface spalling and things like that that's being done. Some of that will be patched up and repaired, but structurally the structure itself is okay. It's more cosmetic improvements and then lighting and making it feel safe and secure and improving sidewalks that we're going to focus on.
So it's like what I expected, some of the buildings that would be torn down, specifically, let's say, Patriot News building, and across the street you have the old post office.
Yeah, so I think everything's a possibility. You know, there's different owners of these different properties, and one of the things that we're focused on is trying to keep it, as much of it, in private ownership as we can, and get creating a vision for the future, laying out and planning for public investment in infrastructure to lay the infrastructure groundwork to support redevelopment, encouraging the private sector then to redevelop that area.
So there's no buildings that you would have to tear down that's owned privately right now?
We really have to wait until the vision comes out, and then decision making that occurs after the visioning to decide whether that's, you know, there's something necessary or not there. Certainly, if there's pedestrian infrastructure, like if we wanted to extend the concourse of the train station across the Norfolk Southern tracks and into the post office property, for example, which is privately owned, there would have to be some decision making there relative to how you would accomplish that and how you would get ownership to be able to put a pedestrian crossing at that location. All of it's like laying out the future so that we can begin the steps of putting the infrastructure pieces in place to support it now.
And as you know, a lot of the land is just simply surface parking. It's undeveloped, and some of the structures that are there, including the Patriot News building, are actually very solid, reusable structures. So I think there'd be a combination of reuse and new construction. That's what we'd see, but we'll wait and see the recommendations of Vision Week. Yep.
What about the Hudson Creek? are going to have to be
Right,
relocated.
and that has to, that is consideration, and what we do there in terms of flood remediation and other improvements. I've seen just very preliminary proposals, but a reworking of that area, turning the land into something which is less prone to the sort of natural calamities of regular flooding.
I think there's
Yeah.
going to be a focus on sustainability. One of our goals on all the train stations on the line has been focusing on sustainability. So energy efficiency, making sure that it fits with what's going on in the environment. So the creek's going to be a major consideration. We want to make sure stormwater is dealt with appropriately. We want to try to restore as much as we can in that area and protect the creek as much as we can. It's a natural, it's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful natural piece of the environment in that area. And it's hard for people to take advantage of that or see the beauty in it right now. And I think part of this Vision Week is to try to understand what the future could hold for.
Is the station involved? Is that a historic place or not?
Yes. Yes.
The station's historic, and actually the whole Keystone Corridor is identified as historic.
So you're going to have to kind of work within their rules then?
We've got to work with, certainly historic considerations, anything that would decide, that would come out of the visioning effort would have to have consideration for maintaining historic character.
The historic building is lovely. It's in need of investment, but it could definitely be incorporated very well into a master plan for the whole area. So thank you all for coming out. Again, starting September 19th, we're giving lots of warning because we want as much time as possible to get the word out to the public, and we hope people will show up and check out the schedule online at harrisburgpa.gov. Thank you.